Okay, hello everyone. My name is Du Qing. My magic number is 19975, and today I will introduce the history of the Netflix. The Netflix is info Netflix medians streaming and video retail company founded in 1997 by American entrepreneurs. Okay. Hastings and Macro is also involved in the creation of original programming. Corporate headquarters are in the Los Gatos. And the next is the two people I also introduced and the video. Hello.
Start with the introduction.
It's me. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Proceed.
So the next is introduction. The Netflix Inc. is an American media service provider and a production company. The company primary business is its subscription-based streaming service, which offers online streaming of a library of films and television programs, including those produced in-house. Today, Netflix has grown to become the world's leading internet entertainment platform. The next slide is a problem statement. The problems that can be seen in the case study are how to Netflix want to flight to be dominant and as well as always stay added in the industry compared to its competitions. Competitions that are visible, that is forcing Netflix to adjust and change their strategy. Future position of Netflix in the online streaming industry with new competitions, the opportunities and innovations that should be taken by Netflix in order to stay at a hand in the industry.
Okay, moving on to my part. You must be wondering, why are we talking about Netflix in general? Like, how we introduce Netflix and the problem statement. That is because we had been given the task to study about the Netflix and their ways to stay ahead of a rapidly changing market. Okay, so as we know, Netflix is a media streaming and movie rental service. There are 7 of us, and we are going to talk about the case study that had been given. The topics that we cover in this presentation is the introduction that has been done by Maria just now, and the problem statement, and also discussions. We have 5 questions that will be discussed in this presentation, and also the conclusion of our case study, what we had found based on this case study. So moving on to my part, I'm going to discuss about Redbox and its role in development of Netflix strategic plan. So Redbox, what does Redbox play? What does Redbox function in the strategic plan of Netflix actually? So Redbox acts as a direct and indirect competitor. As we all know, direct competitors are competitors which have the same products and they are in the same industry, while indirect competitors, they have different products but they are in the same industry. So in this case, Redbox acts as a direct and indirect competitor in the development of Netflix strategic plan. Before we move further on knowing about Redbox role in Netflix strategic plan, we must know first about Redbox. So Redbox is actually an automatic retail company. It's an American video rental company, specializes in DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K HD rentals via automatic retail kiosks. So if you went overseas, you must be familiar with little automated kiosks, like the ones that you want to cash out your money. But Redbox, they would give you DVD players. Okay, so this is a brief introduction of the video. Okay, so Redbox, their function in the strategic plan of Netflix, there are 2 actually. So the first one is Redbox functions as a threat of substitute. As we all know, Redbox, up until now, they still have their own kiosk of DVDs. But the problem is people right now are more focused on online streaming services. They are much easier and they are actually very interactive based on the technology advancements that has been happening now. Okay, so the online streaming service will always be the primary option due to technology advancement and also perceived ease of usage. Next, market for substitute product is also trending towards diminishing. Like, although Redbox is a threat of substitute, but we must acknowledge that the usage of DVDs nowadays are getting lower and lower. People are more focused on online. So that's why it's not a much bigger threat when we're looking at the perspective of a threat of substitute. And the reluctance to adopt the new technologies. There are some people such as like the boomers or like the older people who insist on still using the DVDs. So although consumers with reluctance to adopt technology, there is a target for Redbox. This might worry Netflix because there are still this market for people in this older age who insist on still using DVDs, okay? And next, Redbox as a rival amongst existing competition. This is quite worrying for Netflix because, as we all know, Netflix has a lot competition right now. There's Amazon, Hulu, Apple TV, and Redbox. Okay, right now we must know that new technology and video delivery industry are constantly growing and changing. So buyer suffers low switching costs, which means that if they want to switch from Netflix to Hulu or Netflix to Apple TV, they won't suffer a lot of costs because the difference between the price is so little, like they won't be aware of it. So there's no problem at all if they want to change the things that they're using. So Redbox is rapidly improving their service to cater to customers. Netflix must look into this more and make this one of their priority when they're doing the strategic plan. There is a possibility that Redbox might succeed to surmount Netflix, meaning to say that each and every competitors like Redbox to Netflix, they are everyday brainstorming on ways to defeat Netflix. So Netflix must be aware and must focus on defeating their rival. Okay. And the next question is, how threatening is Redbox to Netflix in the future? Currently, Redbox is not a threat to Netflix, like not at all, because online streaming service is superior and DVD rental service is not sought after. Like I said, people are more leaning or inclined towards online streaming service, and improvement by Netflix all comes to a dead improvement by Redbox all comes to a dead end, and Netflix surpassed Redbox in their financial performance because Netflix, they are like 5 steps further than anyone else, and in the long run Redbox might be able to become a bigger threat with the improvement they constantly make, because as you can see, Redbox have a lot of ideas going through around. Like from 2013, they start Redbox Digital, and when they fail, they started Redbox On Demand, and lastly, they're Redbox Live. So they are not giving up. That's why Netflix must consider this in their strategic plan to ensure that threats like Redbox won't surpass them in the future. That's all. Moving on.
Hello everyone, I am Norain Izian, and I will discuss the second point, which is how will new competition from digital content provider force Netflix to alter its strategy. As we know, there are a few digital competitors for Netflix, which are Apple, Amazon, Hulu, YouTube, and Google Play, and also Google Play. So moving forward, how they implement the strategy. First is Netflix will fill the gap. Hastings had a large amount of videos and was facing a big fine so large. He couldn't believe that this was the best way for people to borrow movie. So he come out with the solution, a business model that let people keep the video as long as they like, as long as they paid a fee for every month. Virtually every successful business is based on satisfied some currently unmet need in the market. For example, Netflix expanding its content to subscriber. The second is think strategic partnership. The Apple is one of the example that Netflix allow the owner of the Apple to set up top box to sign up for Netflix directly. They could even pay for the service through their iTunes account. For Netflix, it was an opportunity to access Apple's large customer base. And for Apple, it was a chance to provide their customer with more content in a convenient way. Next point is the Netflix is adding the values for their customer. Netflix has a good idea at giving the customer exactly what they want. They always know the customer wants and needs. So the biggest secret to Netflix success is that it adapting to the subscriber. So what Netflix recommend is predicting what types of movies people are likely to want to watch. As for the result, 60% of the movies that are added to the subscriber come from the recommendation. The Netflix recommended for the smart TV. So the fourth point is Netflix is learning from the others. As what Netflix thinks that the experience is a great teacher, but you can shorten the learning curve by learning from other people's failure. For example, Reed Hastings learned from AOL, who was slow to adapt to the development of broadband and suffer as a result. It was a mistake. He was committed to not repeating with Netflix. Next point, Netflix always be prepared. They decide to offer the streaming to the customer. Next, think recurring income. Netflix was offering a great product that customer want, and the customer were willing to pay a little extra for each month. And the last is adding original programming to its streaming offering. Next, why did Netflix do this strategy? Obviously, first is they want to do innovation for their company. Second is they remain one step ahead of the competition. They always think further ahead for their company. And the last one is they be the first mover advantages. That's all from me.
Okay. Next, my name is Nur Anis Faiza binti Awaluddin. I'll be discussing about the new opportunities in movie streaming business or entertainment industry as a whole. Okay. We know that in this new era, cable TV business are on the verge of becoming old school, and there's online video streaming business are trending today. For example, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Amazon, HBO are now the video streaming apps competitors, and actually each one of them has their own unique specialty. Next, okay, Netflix is Netflix versus the competitors. Okay, Netflix is one of the biggest contributors to the cord-cutting phenomenon, and this phenomenon actually is helping Netflix to crush its competition for one simple reason. So, what people are watching and how they are watching it is constantly changing. So the consumer are connecting less to their television sets compared to the same period from the previous year, turning more to apps and web-based streaming on a smartphone. So there are several different competitors that are threatened to chip away at market share from Netflix, include Amazon. So the biggest competitive threat to Netflix is probably Amazon, because we can see that the company has increased their production of its original content. Next. Okay. Next, the innovation of Netflix streaming. Okay, since 1997, Netflix has grown from a small startup delivering mail-order DVDs to the world's leading source of international movie streaming. So, the service that personalization and the content has had an effect on how we all watch movie and TV nowadays. Next. So, So Netflix innovation has not stopped at with its disruption of the video entertainment industry. Uh, Meanwhile, another round of disruption, the streaming service banks on creating quality content, finding the algorithm for user recommendation, and ensure them that seamless service by going to the cloud as its Netflix future strategy. So so the question is, what is the new opportunities in the Netflix streaming? So the opportunities that, despite from all innovation that Netflix made, I think they could actually need to determine the new strategy that will appeal to their customer, especially the millennials, because as millennials are the one that will dominate the current market. Okay, a new opportunity for them is the entertainment industry is the addition to the streaming music. Okay, because many people enjoy listening to music nowadays, and if they could get that alongside movie streaming, they would even be more interested. Dem- and actually, demand for music have been intensified from day to day, and part of the reason is that music is something that people can already do that at any time and any place. So the initial instinct of consumer was to fill their newfound time with entertainment that they could not otherwise do at work or at school, as the abnormal normalized music streaming will be picked up, and as the recent increase in search for music and playlist terms suggest. Okay, although Netflix has no experience in the music industry, and this will be something that costs them a lot of money. Actually, this music industry will be the one the one that will give them profit bigger than the other. Okay, next. Next discussion.
Who's question number 4?
Ada. Ada.
It's
Soalan
Aisha.
Aisyah. Okay.
Aisha. Right, so
If Aisha cannot connect, someone can present that.
Right. So for the question number 4, does Netflix will remain the dominant force in both streaming and movie rentals? So I will just like substitute Aisha for that. So how Netflix? Oh, Aisha, you're back. So,
All right.
okay.
So sorry. Okay. So my name is Nur Aisha binti Mama Arif. My metric number is 197004. So I'm going to proceed with our presentation. Does Netflix will remain the dominant force in both streaming and movie rental? So in my opinion, Netflix will remain number one movie rental because like as we can see, Netflix may have some close competition, but if they are strategized for the future, it will help Netflix remain the dominant in this industry. So since Netflix has a lot of competitors, Netflix will survive depends on its ability to adapt to a new technology. So here we have how Netflix increase their value subscriber. So the first one is security, lower cost, long tail content from studio at cheaper price. Next. Second, equally higher cost, beloved hits from studio. The next one is beating bid on brand new original content. Next. The fourth one is create lower risk original programming based on prior. The last one is creating original content specific to certain geographic region. Next. So as we can see here in this graph, this is Netflix international market subscriber growth. As we can see, Netflix subscriber increasing year by year. So Netflix streaming over 3.5% of all peaks internet traffic in US, making a force to be reckoned with. So Netflix command nearly 25 billion market capitalization, is a member of the S&P 500 index and employ over 2,200 people worldwide. Next. So this graph, you can see the competition between the graph between Netflix and the competitors. As we can see, Netflix remain the dominant compared with their competitors. Next. So as we know, Netflix has a lot of competitors. For example, Hulu, YouTube, Amazon. But based in this graph, Netflix is number one in the US, which is 85% compared to Amazon, 65% and others. Next. The next one is Netflix also applies some innovation by using data aggressively. This data sought to serve customer and help them to find content that will appeal to them. So Netflix has a high possibility to remain the dominant force in streaming and movie rental. This data has initially sought the customer and help them to find content that will appeal to them. This analysis of data will determine what genre of movie that people like to see more, and Netflix, in that way, Netflix has a high possibility to remain the dominant force in this industry. So I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay. Okay, my name is Hariharan son of Ganesan. My metric number is 197952. Okay, I'm the next presenter. Okay, I'll be presenting about what should Netflix have done differently to ensure Quickster's success. Okay. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce about Quickster to you all. Quickster is like one of a male-only service DVD with video games included. This was in response to increase in prices after being Quickster was a failure for Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix. And Netflix chief executive Hastings explained that the company has two business. They was splitted. The Quickster was splitted from Netflix. They had there's different services, and Netflix two businesses are becoming quite different with different costs and marketing needs. And after Quickster was introduced, Netflix price was increased, and Quickster's therefore Quickster and Netflix was having a same price. I think around $7.99, and he says that the Reed Hastings said that the new DVD business will name Quickster, and here there are several things that Quickster Netflix must have done to maintain to make the Quickster as a success, because Quickster was a big failure for Netflix because of the cost increase of different services. A lot of things had happened to Reed Hastings because of the Quickster's introduction in the market. And first of all, next slide. Okay, I would like to introduce what Quickster have done. Next. Okay, there are several things what Netflix might have done differently to ensure Quickster's success. First of all, the name. Okay, they should not have changed the name of Netflix to introduce a new service as Quickster, because using the name Quickster causes the new users may not realize that Quickster and Netflix are owned by the same company, and which may result in users selecting a totally different mailing services together, potentially losing Netflix millions of customers. And Netflix might have make Quickster as the same name, introduce Quickster in the same name under Netflix. And second, the next slide. Next slide. Oh, okay. Back. Only one slide, is it? Okay. Besides that, they have should not have changed the should have used the same domain. For example, Netflix use a different domains for Quickster, because it causes confusion between the users. Quickster's own website will not be connected to Netflix in any case, and two different accounts with two separate credit card usage will be used by the users. And what Netflix might have done, maybe they should preferably should have maintained the same website for Quickster. And but if it is found that different websites have been found necessary, it should have done by allowing its users to log in simultaneously, smoothly with their Netflix username. And the next one is what's that? Okay, video games. Okay, for example, Netflix should have removed the video game service in the Quickster's service, because Quickster's will not only offer DVDs but also video games titled for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. It's sounds like great idea, but already will be it'll be an optional upgrade for consumers, and consumers won't get both DVDs and video games upon joining Quickster. Maybe what Netflix might have done, maybe they both, because both Redbox and GameFly, they are two popular companies that also offering video games rentals to people that so video games is unnecessary content in Quickster. Maybe they should remove that video game service in their service. So next one is last one. The next one is a service split. Service split is beta. Okay, I'm looking at this one. Okay, service split. Okay, service split. Okay, service split causes confusion among the users, and causes them to maybe not recognize that Quickster is one of the Netflix services, and announcing service split causes a price hike in their service. And like what Netflix might have done, Netflix would have been better off announcing the price hike with the price service split, not really a company split. Maybe it's like only price split, not a company split. I think like they have been able to receive backlash that would have been able to retain most of their customers. And maybe like they should allow a customer to choose between the three plans would have been much a simpler solution. And last but not least, number of titles. Okay, like Netflix has been around 1997, and their number of range of titles in Quickster is not much in comparing to Netflix. What Netflix has might done is like they order to like in order to give company a split profit, Netflix like will have to make streaming service equal to the DVD service with the same number of titles, and then like that more title available on both DVD and streamings. Like but Netflix wasn't ready to separate that their service, neither they were their customers, so their customers couldn't accept the Quickster's in the market. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Conclusion.
So moving on to my part, which is the conclusion part. My name is Nurul Shuhada binti Salim, and my metric number is 196964. So for conclusion, Netflix is more way advanced than its competitors in online streaming business, and possibly currently, no other competitors can possibly surpass them. And also, Netflix must keep on innovating and improvising strategic plan to remain as the giant and the owner of the biggest market share of the industry. Which is, we know that some forces keep on forcing them to keep innovating and improvising in order to become ahead of the competitors. So the next one, the third one, is the decision to go online was the best decision that enabling them to innovate and went further in the industry. Next, Netflix must predict their current competitors' strategy that are slowly keeping up with Netflix in the online streaming business. Because like my friends just presented that competitors such as Hulu, Amazon is actually keeping up with Netflix technology and also Netflix advancement in order for them to become ahead of in the online streaming industry. And the last, not the last one, but the fifth conclusion that can be made is also to Netflix can also predict new emerging competitors which might come out with an entirely different strategy and technology. Next, the last one is, next slide. So after all, in order for Netflix to stay ahead in the industry is if Netflix can succeed to keep up with the strategy, with the effective strategy and also the very up-to-date technology, there will not be a problem for Netflix to remain as the dominating power. So that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.